Hi, I'm Mickey McSticky. How are y'all doing? Welcome to my second video. You know what? I'm actually going to get right down to the point. I thoroughly enjoyed The Joker. And the storyline behind it is actually amazing too. Because mainstream media tried to bury this movie. The system tried literally burying this movie. And it has a big monologue at the end about the system. Kind of makes you wonder why they wanted to bury it. They didn't want to give you any ideas, did they? Ooh, sometimes that could be a bad joke. Don't take that literally, please. But to be honest, I'm really glad it got 11 Oscar nominations. One of them being Joaquin Phoenix for Best Actor, who gives a stellar performance to this entire film. He single-handedly carried this movie pretty much. Every bright moment was with him. The supporting cast was great too, but Joaquin knocked every single moment he was on screen out of the park. This man is overdue for an Oscar, I swear. Even after seeing Walk the Line and Signs, and he hasn't gotten one yet, should be outrageous, and I hope he gets at least this one. Not only did it thoroughly capture psychosis in a really dark way, or any sort of mental illness for that matter, it really had an amazing subtext with these clown riots that were politically inspired by the Joker's actions in the film, kind of making us know that none of us are alone in feeling like a clown at some point, feeling disregarded, feeling not wanted. I honestly never thought I'd actually feel bad for the Joker, but this movie did a great job of humanizing him and showing him his struggles that eventually led to his downfall. And I think the great part about this is, it's not a happy story. Most movies nowadays always have to have a happy ending, from fear of upsetting or offending an audience. But this one doesn't really hold punches, and that's a breath of fresh air. I mean, I guess it's our system that decides what's right and wrong, thinks bad endings are a bad idea. But speaking of the media, what amazes me is how it tried to basically bury this movie, saying it was a white sympathy movie or an incel violence movie, or how it was going to cause a shooting. And they had a basis that it was going to be shot up because of an Aurora shooting in Colorado with The Dark Knight, even though technically that was a Batman film and nobody saw it coming. This is a Joker film that everyone knew was going to be unhappy, and the media actually warned, which prompted the military, which probably led to why there was no shooting. I don't see any sort of armed manic shooter going after the military. And it wasn't just me who really loved this movie. I know a lot of people who have posted about it, written articles about it, thoroughly thought about it on Facebook, and had really well thought out responses. Even one of my best friends actually enjoyed the movie a lot more than me. He wears makeup to almost everything. I am looking at you, Christopher. But with the white sympathy, he killed exclusively white people on camera. There was only one person who was not white, and that was the psychiatrist at the end of the movie, and she was killed off camera. So when I saw this movie, I was thinking there really was no white sympathy. It wasn't a racist movie or even racially motivated at all. I mean, a lot of the subtext did revolve around class warfare, and how the poor are being oppressed by the rich, in a corrupt town like Gotham even, which adds to the believability. The slums of Gotham were having enough, and they felt like clowns too. Hence, Joker was not alone in feeling disregarded. Although I will say, Joker didn't really have a support system, or any family, probably like a lot of the people in the slums did. A lot of the people in the slums of Gotham were probably trying to get their families out of that situation. But Joker didn't have anything. And I think that's what makes this movie a tragedy. It's a downfall story. The downfall of a good person wanting to do good, but can't because society won't let him. In fact, society gives him two choices: become the opposite of what you are and what you're meant to be, or die. And as for the incel violence, well, all I could say is he was imagining that he had a girlfriend the entire movie, so I don't think a lack of romance would inspire him to do any of it. He was driven by the one feeling we can all feel: that we have had enough. And although it's not the extent he felt it to, we all felt like we've had enough pretty much. Sure, we may not have gone completely crazy and had what his load is, or shot up a TV station after giving a monologue about the system and why it's bad, even though his were more personal. But I feel like Gotham got its karma because it inspired others through him. And for those of you saying that this movie does not capture the original essence of the Joker, it does. And it captures something new at the same time. The original essence of the Joker has always been, you are one bad day from becoming just like me. So I don't know why people were surprised that the Joker's origin story was a downfall about someone who no one cared about. The movie just did an amazing job of amplifying it and making it real, and making it seem like we really had nowhere to turn to. Basically being cornered. And that's the thing. One bad day, one day away from being cornered, one day away of having to make a choice. Become a serious psychopath or die. I mean, like Harvey Dent said in The Dark Knight, you either live long enough to see yourself become a villain or you die the hero. Well, actually it was the other way around, but I'm talking way too fast about this because there's so much that I want to get in just a short amount of time. But Joker was a lifetime of pain, finally collapsing in on itself. But I feel like we could all reach that point in some way. So is it really that wrong to blame Arthur Fleck for being human? He was just the one that was at the bottom, who just wanted to have a place. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want support. We all want to live. We all want love. And honestly, I hope this wins Oscars. Because since the media tried burying this, made it seem like it was the opposite, well, let's just say it kind of told the truth. The system kind of lied to us in a sense. Told us we shouldn't go see it. And guess what? It caused more people to go see it. And it just shows how many people feel the same way about the system as the Joker does. This being the highest grossing R-rated film of all time is an amazing feat. I don't think the award's actually going to solidify it as a cultural staple. A staple about those being slipped through the cracks. A staple about the truly forgotten ones that the system does never promise to help. It's kind of a critique on society that says it's inclusive but still shuns people away. And sometimes for stupid reasons. But I honestly urge everyone who is everyone to go see this movie. Or at least buy it on Blu-ray. See it in your home. Be safe with it. Because at the end of the day, it is just a movie. And like the movie says, comedy is subjective. So I think movies should be subjective too. Because comedy and movies are art. Art is subjective. And these awards are kind of subjective. But I am still rooting. I think it just brings to light just how many things are subjective. Or how we're really all not that different deep down inside. I guess in a sense you could say the darkest movie of 2019 actually ended up bringing us the brightest light. And I'm sure people have legitimate reasons on why they don't like this movie. I mean, I've read plenty of legitimate reasons and I have no right to take away their opinion. But even then they weren't really trashing it. It was just some critiques. But hey, I had a one-track mind on this. I wanted to see a tragedy like I was expecting. And a tragedy was what I got. And it was kind of a cathartic tragedy once you reach the end and he finally embraces who he is. You feel his freedom. You feel that he has nothing left to lose. And it's a freeing feeling in a sense. I even heard people in the theater crying quite a few times. But it was an experience in the theater. Kind of like Infinity War when we were all cheering it on. And now when I watch it on Blu-ray, I remember the reaction I had in the theater. I remember the fun me and my friends had talking about each scene by scene and getting more excited as it went along. That's what a movie should be about. That's what a movie should do. It should be a roller coaster ride. And we shouldn't be afraid of ugly things either. Not everything in life is rose-colored. So for them to push this movie away as being too dark, well, I think we kind of need that just to brace ourselves in case a bad time comes along. That way we're not overwhelmed. Because sometimes when you really love something, you want it to face the ugly truth. I'm Icky McSticky, and always remember.
That's breaking news. Popular TV talk show host Murray